Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM24. This is Youth Factory, episode number 3. Last time where the algorithm's going to really make a difference on this series and trying to get the viewership up to a level that's sustainable to keep this series going all the way to the Premier League and maybe beyond to Europe. So please take a second, drop below, click that like button, leave a comment to help out with that. There really hasn't been much in terms of any growth beyond the series that was coming before it here with the start, even though it appears anew. So there are some new viewers out there for sure, but it's not a lot, and viewership was already iffy. If it wasn't so close to the release of FM24, this series was in jeopardy of cancellation. So please, one last time, drop below, help out with that algorithm. But let's get on with the series and on with the playoffs. We are now set to participate in the playoffs for promotion to the National League. We're well placed, but we're not perfectly placed. After finishing in just 4th place this season, we find ourselves not even with an automatic semifinal berth, but having to come through as the top-seeded quarterfinals team. Weymouth, the lowest-seeded quarterfinals team, will be our opponent at home in front of a sellout crowd. First sellout for 3,000 plus that we'll have had. The winner will play Gloucester. So let's take a look at that scenario. Yeovil already goes through as champions. Chelmsford will host one semifinal, Gloucester the other, and then we have our 4 quarterfinalists. So we get the bottom seeded one, and that means Gosport and Bromley will play the other quarterfinal. The winner of that match will travel to Chelmsford. The winner of our match with Weymouth will travel to Gloucester. And then the 2 winners of those semifinals will play for promotion out of the Vanarama National League South. For that to happen, we have to win 3 times. No easy task. No easy task at all. Now, we've been one of those teams that's been difficult to beat, for sure. And in the later portion of the season, we've been more difficult to beat than we were earlier in the season, as we have definitely outdeveloped some of the other teams. That certainly puts us in a decent spot. But our position hasn't changed much. I mean, we've spent most of this season around 4th, 5th, or 6th place. Yes, we were at the top of the injury table for a big chunk of the early portion of the season and a sizable chunk of the later portion of the season. We're down to 1 injury, and that's Sumahoro, and he will not feature at all. So our top goal scorer, our guy with 27 goals this season in the league and then some in other tournaments, he's not going to feature in these playoffs at all. That's worrying. Paul Davidson is set to take his position next season, so there's that. It's a good chance for him to make his mark as we go forward, but it's a little worrying. It's definitely a little worrying. And the other key one, the other one who shows up at the top of the charts, leading in the shutouts category, Bercielli also heading out here in, hopefully, fingers crossed, 3 matches from now. Big match. Really big match, and yet it's just the first of 3. So can we keep up the momentum? Can we deal with the pressure? Weymouth, not in good form. They've lost 3 of their last 5. Barely qualified for the playoffs after being quite comfortable, but maybe that's why they took their foot off the gas. Because they were quite comfortable. How will we perform? Not well off the first whistle, anyway. 5 minutes played. We've had the first shot of the match. First little bit of XG. We definitely have a slight majority of the possession. Davidson, nice ball recovery there. Redknapp finds Adekunle. Through for Thornhill. Thornhill into the box. Across for Davidson, and we lead. Just inside the first 10 minutes of the match. And it's a 1-0 lead. What a start. What a start there. We were so close to being offside. We reset. Thornhill comes across. Davidson, who had reset, who dropped back, who was no longer marked, then re-attacks the second time around. You can see that we've got a total sellout on the home side of the crowd. The away side Weymouth really not bringing much of a crowd to this one. Atkins, Adekunle tries to find Thornhill, but not on target for that one. That long ball is going to be there and met, and why in the world Berchielli does not go out and grab that ball? He had plenty of time to react and get there and get it under his clutches. McFadden on the overlap finds Lanahan Penreese in close. Great chance there. Big save. A little too much right at the keeper on that one. This clearance is going to lead to a bit of a counterattack. And they do have a couple guys in position. Fortunately, he recycles the ball back into the defense. We definitely have the advantage in shots. We definitely have the advantage in XG. But they are getting something in this game. It's not complete domination here. Oof. Big chance on that missed opportunity as we don't head that one away. And then they pounce on the free ball after that. We've played half an hour. Offside. Redknapp off the free kick. Finds Thornhill. Long ball. Lanahan Penreese does not get there first. McFadden, though. Finds Lanahan Penreese now. Mortland on the underlap. And he gives it away. But Redknapp intercepts. He's got the... He didn't put Adekunle in a strong position, but Thornhill gets on the end of a exquisite pass. That was a great pass from Adekunle. And Thornhill puts it away, makes it 2 before halftime. Yeah, well done from Adekunle, and Thornhill just slots it into the near post. There's definitely traffic in front of the goalkeeper, made that difficult to see. But that puts us back in a good position. They had their first little bit of momentum of the entire half. Lanahan Penreese, can we put this thing away before halftime? Not quite. Redknapp, Hassel, back to Mortland. Starting to recover our regular shape here. Adekunle, we've definitely found some space along the outside here, down the wings. Redknapp, Thornhill, Mortland, now Hassel. Lanahan Penreese, I think he was onside there. The defense was playing him on while the right back themselves marking him had fallen behind. Again, they're picking up some momentum, but we quickly turn that back into us controlling just before halftime, looking like we were going to grab a third in terms of the XG. The goals are right there. It's only 6 attempts, but they've been good quality attempts on more than 2 occasions, really. We definitely could have had more goals than we had, but 2 goals seems about right. Job not done, another half to play, but so far so good. Right off the kickoff for the second half, Adekunle comes in and just about intercepts, but they recover the deflected pass. That's cool to see. Never saw that in previous versions of FM. Second half is just quickly disintegrating. Their chances are turning into ash. We've already played 70 minutes. Lanahan Penreese is having a rough game. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I don't have Wilkinson on the bench today, I suppose. We'll keep things as is. 85 minutes. Holy cow. Well, that happened fast. That clearance, first highlight of the second half, really. We were looking for offside. Instead, they get a corner kick. Which one was it? Can't say. We didn't have the full picture. Chance in close. Atkins comes, helps. They get a shot out of it. They get a corner out of it. Looked like he just blasted that and totally missed the target. Berchielli this time does come out and intercept. Stoppage time. This should do it, folks. Strong first half performance. Gets us 2 goals. We never had a shot in the second half. They only had 1 shot in the second half. That was it, folks. That was it. That second half not only lacked highlights, but it lacked action. Period. That we just kept possession, kept it away from them, and saw the clock run out real fast. 67% of possession. Well done. Bromley provides a 3-0 upset on the road at Gosport. That's going to put them through against Chelmsford in the other semifinal. Starting an hour and a half earlier, the Chelmsford-Bromley semifinal not yet over. And neither team has yet to score. So as we get on with ours, we'll keep an eye on that scoreline. But we need to be focused on the task at hand, and that is now beating Gloucester on the road to make the promotion playoff final. All 11 are fired up for this game. That's a good sign. Gloucester, just one draw at the end of the season, but otherwise they've been in good form. So have we. Just one loss down the stretch, and that was a close loss to Yeovil, where we actually outplayed them in that one. So as we step forward for this semifinal, huge match. What can we do? Find out here in a second. Already. Second highlight. Immediately following the first highlight, but Lanahan Penreese makes a second play on the ball already. But Davidson can't keep the forward momentum, but we do keep possession. But that's the end of the highlight. Early possession is ours, but things quickly turn in their favor. It's about 50-50 now that we've played a dozen or so minutes. Slowly turning to a slight advantage for us. Finally, the first shot of the game. Took more than 20 minutes for it to happen, and they got it. But it's looking like we've got a pretty even matchup. The top few teams in the league we've had real trouble with this year. Oh, Berchielli goes the wrong way, and Walford gets them on the board first. We're going to have to play from behind in this one. Hall. Nice pass to Bell. Bell finds Walford on the overlap. That's a poor defensive play from Redknapp. Redknapp should have had Walford marked there. Doesn't. Berchielli assumed he was going far post. Dove that way. Ball ends up going near post. Tries to kick it with his leg and can't get a piece of it. And in just the second shot of the game, they take the lead. We might have a slight majority of possession, but we are not doing anything in this game. We're approaching halftime. That's a really poor giveaway there as well. I mean, there was nobody on the planet that was going to reach that ball. That one's headed over. That's their second decent attempt of the game. It's been a very quiet first half, but we are trailing. Lanahan Penreese tries to do too much himself. Gives it away. We're having some issues with players. Oh, come on. No! Folks, this might be it for this season. We might have to continue building on what we've done. Now, yes, we are losing 2 players, but I think ultimately we're going to be in better shape next season than we were this season, as long as we don't lose additional players this summer. We're going to have to go attacking for the second half. Not even one shot attempt, majority of possession, but we have done absolutely nothing in the final third. Ratings are poor throughout. No one particular player is struggling here, though I'd say Redknapp is not marking well at all. I asked them to do more, and that didn't happen. But that secondary talk did the trick for all 11. Let's turn up the tempo. They already got a quick shot attempt here to start the second half. Oh, another terrible giveaway there. You see, there's a level of quality that we're just not quite matching up to with the top couple of teams. We struggled with Yeovil in this manner, and we're struggling today with Gloucester in the same sort of way. I'd say the top 3 teams, the 3 teams above us, on merit, seem to be the better teams. We didn't just misperform. Adekunle, bad giveaway there. Walford, really good player. He's having a heck of a game here. Another missed chance. And that's 3. That's got to be enough now. It's the first time I've even seen us near the box, and we immediately go the wrong direction. The highlight started right with the ball exiting the box, so it's hard to tell what we did to get it in there, but Redknapp, overlap, cross. It's finally a ball into the box, and it's finally a chance. Not much of one. 0.14 on the XG for it, but it's a start. Approaching an hour. Mortland now on a yellow. Davidson's offside. It's not going to count. Well offside. very attacking now. Okay, time to change things up. Oh, we got one. We got one back. Adekunle fishing it out of the goal, but Thornhill to Redknapp. The overlap has worked better for us than other things. Finally finds Adekunle inside. He's going to attack in. Puts it over the shoulder of Hollingshead, and it's 3-1. Is it too little too late, or are we still in this thing? Davidson having an awful game. What else? What else can we do? I don't have any subs that are going to make us better. Atkins, good tackle, but they're going to get another chance at it. It's deflected. It's deflected, and it puts them in the perfect position. That ball was not well placed, but the deflection put it in the perfect spot for him. Ooh, boy. Offside? I sure looked offside. I didn't see it when it was live, but he had to be a step or two ahead there. We're almost out of time, and we're definitely going home, folks. It's 4-1. Lanahan Penreese. Nice ball across, but it's cleared away. He's going to get another shot at it again. 1-on-2 in the box. They're marking us well. Where are they finding these extra guys? But we do get another goal. It's 4-2. Offside. The previous one was clearly offside, but that one didn't look offside. Their goal, I didn't see it live, but when you saw the replay, was offside. It gets called on. I didn't see anything there suggesting that that was offside. We're all over them now, aggressive, but it's too little too late. Even if we had that goal, it's still only 4-2. Looks like for just the second time in the whole series, we are facing the scenario of playing in the same division for a second year. Of course, that happened in our very first season, the 11th-tier. We stayed put for season number 2 before we started our winning ways and gaining promotion after promotion before things getting progressively more difficult over the last few seasons. Not going up as champions, but then going up at second place, and now eliminated after finishing 4th. We win the quarterfinal, we lose the semifinal, rightfully so. We did have just slightly more possession, but they absolutely outplayed us. Now the goals, a lot of that was not deserved. We had some poor plays. McFadden, Redknapp each had some poor plays there. Hassel and Kitching couldn't do enough to cover it off. Our defensive mids did not help with ball recovery like they normally do. They were struggling to recover the ball. The only positive ratings we had was the link up for the one goal we did get. But realistically, we should have lost this 3-2. Our goal looked like it should have stood. It was close. It was tight. I thought it was onside. Theirs was definitely offside. That last one was without a doubt, in my eyes anyway, at least a step or two offside when that ball was played. He was ahead of it. He was certainly ahead of our defense, but their man was ahead of our defense, and he was ahead of his man. There's a line from the mowing marks straight across the field, and they were right near it. The ball was a yard shy of the line. The guy was already half a step past the line. A yard short, half a step past. That's more than a yard offside. Yes, tight, but should have been waved off. Either way, that means we lose 3-2. Either way, we were outplayed. Either way, the deserving team moved on. And we're going to have to spend another year at this level. I had 4 players that were promised that we would promote this year when we signed their contracts, because I felt pretty confident that we'd have it. That hasn't happened. We got a couple of players outgoing, and now we're going to have 4 guys upset that we didn't promote. And it's partly on them, right? They were on the pitch. The final will be between Chelmsford and Gloucester, the 2 top teams. Chelmsford, in extra time, grabbed 2 goals to beat Bromley. At least was able to successfully criticize half the team for their performance in the last game. But that is the end of a season in bad form. Finally, we get some word, because there was no option to do anything with it. We couldn't request an expansion to a stadium. We couldn't request anything new. We were hands tied. And finally, the board have announced plans to build a new stadium and are in the process of searching for suitable sites and possible investors. So it's not finalized yet. They've taken a full year to thinking about building a stadium. Or I should say committing to thinking about building a stadium. The main reason behind the decision was that chairperson Mohammed Barnes really wanted to relocate the club back to their home city of Senin. Board have, however, pointed out this will not be a smooth process, as it will be some time before any plans can be finalized and put into action. This is also going to leave us with a huge tax bill in the coming season, because we have improved our funds by, 8 million, 9 million this season. That's going to come with a hefty tax bill, but that's actually easily covered off by cashing in on one of our numerous fees that are out there available to us. You can cover that off pretty quickly, pretty easily, and set ourselves up for having the funds to build the stadium, which would probably turn out to be a negative anyway. So having those funds would be handy before they finalize this, so they can maybe build something bigger. Apparently, the 4 players that were promised promotion and the one that was promised to make playoffs, the 5 of them are all looking at next season as their target for that, not by this season. So that gives us a bit of a wider window. Also, in my end of season talk, the team was quite pleased when I mentioned that next season we can look to win the league. As predicted, tax bill is going to be quite high, 1.5 million for the coming season. Trying to keep that neutral balance is really important, but with the stadium on the line, we had to bring in money. They just waited too long on the stadium, pushing it into the next year, that now we're hit with unnecessary losses. Next season's another year for that. We're already past the tax bill point, so I might just cash in on one of those deals here real soon, so that the board has that extra money and recovered funds, exceeding that 1.5 million by quite some margin, so that we can A, pay that off without issue, but also B, have that money for the potential stadium deal, have it in that consideration, because the bigger the stadium, the longer it keeps us playing at home. The scary thing over how we played against Gloucester is that Gloucester has been beaten by Chelmsford in the playoff final. 2-0, they go down with 2 late first half goals. Chelmsford's another team that we had some real trouble with, and Yeovil. All 3 of them were a real struggle for us this year. 2 of them are going to be gone. Who replaces them from the National League? Probably not going to be as good. So Gloucester is going to be the real title contenders that we're going to have to be better than in the coming season. And they were only 1 point better than us this year. And as long as we can hang on to our players, I think we could probably outperform them. But I assume that they're going to be more than 1 point better, or that they're going to have a better points haul than they had this year, assuming that they keep their team intact, assuming that the 2 relegated sides fit in more at playoff bubble or outside of playoff bubble and not come in dominating. I would imagine, based on the teams that were relegated from the previous year, that we should be looking down at them and not up. Chelmsford had only 1 injury. They came out of that match with 5 kind of surprising that they were able to come away with the victory, considering they picked up 4 injuries over the course of the match. I was at 3. I'm down to 2 a week later. Yeah, definitely disappointing. Oh, okay, it was 2-point gap to Gloucester, by the way. Very similar goal differential. Gosport, Bromley are still going to be tough, assuming that, those 3 teams largely remain intact. But again, with better training facilities, better coaching staff, professional status that probably everybody around us has anyway, or certainly at the top end of the league, I think we should be in a position to outgrow those around us. It's just now a matter of hanging on to our guys and not losing more than the 2 that we're already going to lose, because I do think we definitely missed Sumahoro there. Davidson struggled. He got 1 goal in the quarterfinal, but in the semifinal against a better team, no dice. Right? He really struggled to have an impact on the game. We're going to have a little downgrade at the goalkeeper position, but our young 18-year-old's going to come in pretty strong, and he'll catch up to Berchielli pretty fast, and he's good enough to be a starter at this level already. Davidson's pretty solid, so I think with time and a full season as striker, will he get 27? I don't know. A lot of questions still to be answered for next season. We've proven we've got a good squad, but a squad that was 4th best. 2 of those teams are now out of this league. The weaker of the 3 is what's left. So let's hope that puts us in a good position to be second, and all we need to do is improve by a win or 2 or 3 to be best. I think we could do that. That's going to do it for this episode and this season. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.